Hi, this video is going to be a basic instruction on how to operate a power wheelchair. Again, this is basic instruction. This video is not designed for somebody who will be owning and using a power wheelchair. This is for the uninitiated, the people who may happen to see one in their area or around them and wonder, how do these things work? Well, first of all, most power chairs, I would say probably 99.9% of them, I have literally never found a power chair that doesn't work this way, function under some very basic principles. First is power versus manual mode. Down here, these little tie handles here, you turn them that way. The other side gets turned as well. That switches it to manual mode. Manual mode simply means the drivetrain will not engage. So these wheels will not be functional via the power controls. They simply won't work. That basically pulls the wheels off of the drivetrain. They are colloquially called the brakes. They are not the actual braking system on a power wheelchair. In fact, there is literally no braking system on a power wheelchair. That is a great big fallacy. People think these things have brakes. They don't have brakes. They have on and off. That's what they have. When a bus driver asks me or any other power wheelchair person if they have set the brakes, we tell them yes, as long as it's turned off. Because without power, this thing doesn't go anywhere. You can push it and shove it. Okay, it's rocking a little because I just had it in manual mode, but it really doesn't go anywhere. But you can pull it, you can shove it. She's not going anywhere. Second, this is the on-off button. These things last for a limited amount of time. They have batteries underneath this shroud here, and that's what powers the chair. So that shroud there is literally everything. The drivetrain, the batteries, all of it. So damaging that shroud or anything underneath that shroud is very, very bad. And as you can see on this particular wheelchair, everything under that shroud includes a floating, keyword there's floating, frame. Because it's floating, you're not supposed to attach straps to this wheelchair. It's actually very bad to attach straps to this wheelchair. And bus drivers still insist upon it. So I force them to put them here, because if anything happens, this will actually come out. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it's literally attached right there to the chair. So even if it pulls this out, it's not going to hurt the rest of the chair. But straps are not supposed to go anywhere on this particular chair. Where power chairs require straps, they actually have these little attachment devices that stick out from the frame, not from the drivetrain area, with little hooky things in it. Another thing, most, I wouldn't say 99.9%, but most lightweight power chairs like this one, I mean, this is not the most stable thing in the world. And I will have bus drivers grab hold of that and think that they can keep me from falling or whatever by doing that. They'll push on it and then it suddenly goes up and they go, oh, whoops, never mind. So And if somebody's in a wheelchair like this, you'll notice that there is no straps for me. There are straps on here, but that's just to my backpack and other things that are permanently attached to my chair. But there are no physical straps for me. There's no seat belt, nothing like that. That's because I would be what's called a high mobility wheelchair user. I use it because my legs will randomly decide to stop working and I will fall down. I live in New York City. Falling down randomly without warning is not a good thing, especially considering how many times we cross the street while walking. The last thing I need to do is fall down while crossing the street and be stuck laying in the middle of the road. So, I have a wheelchair. I also have a heart condition. I'm not paralyzed. My motor function is not otherwise hindered or inhibited. So, I don't need a fancy chair that immobilizes me. I do need something that I can utilize. I also have a manual wheelchair that I have stopped using because I have arthritis in my rib cage, and pushing it inflames my rib cage, making it impossible to breathe. So that's not a good thing. But I still have it for travel because it's a lot easier to put in cars, to take on airplanes, etc. And usually if I'm going in a car or on an airplane, I have people with me who can push me. So it's perfectly fine in that case because I don't have to do the pushing myself. But I live alone, so I have a power chair because it enables me independence. Again, those are what we call the brakes down there. They don't actually brake anything. They just switch it from manual chair to power chair. When it is switched to fully manual, this can be pushed around just like a manual chair. When it is switched to power, i.e. the drivetrain is engaged, you must use the control arm in order to power the chair.